Hello again and welcome back to Platinum Soul on Display. We're going to welcome Harlem back to discuss a trophy tonight that is a little more laid back than most, though it still has a lot to offer. He'll be joined by editor and chief of design at the Heka Collective, Max. Before we introduce our guests, let's take a look at the game. Released in 2016, Virginia offers a unique and immersive experience that captivates players through its distinct storytelling and visual style. Let's delve into some of the interesting aspects and qualities that make this game a standout. The game adopts a first-person perspective, allowing players to embody the character of Ann Tarver, an FBI agent. Through this perspective, players intimately experience the world around Ann and become an active participant in her journey. The game takes place in the 1990s, and players follow Ann Tarver as she investigates a missing person case in the rural town of Kingdom, Virginia. As players progress, they uncover secrets and unravel a web of intrigue, with the narrative drawing inspiration from the likes of Twin Peaks and The X-Files. Virginia skillfully uses visual storytelling and environmental cues to convey emotions and advance the plot, creating a deeply atmospheric experience. While the game doesn't feature any dialogue or traditional conversations, it excels in conveying complex emotions and relationships through body language, facial expressions, and interactions. Players witness the nuances of human connection and conflict without a single spoken word, relying solely on visual cues and the evocative score. Speaking of the score, the game's sound design is masterfully crafted. The haunting and atmospheric music enhances the overall experience, heightening emotions and complementing the game's visual storytelling. This careful integration of music and sound effects adds depth to the narrative and elevates the player's immersion. Virginia takes full advantage of the video game medium to experiment with non-linear storytelling techniques. The game employs jump cuts and editing techniques to seamlessly transition between different moments in time and space. This artistic approach blurs the boundaries between reality and dreams, inviting players to interpret the narrative in their own unique way. Virginia is a thought-provoking and visually stunning video game that pushes the boundaries of storytelling in the medium. Its unique direction, immersive plot, compelling characters, atmospheric sound design, and distinct visual style come together to create an experience that stays with players long after they've finished playing. By eschewing traditional dialogue and embracing non-linear storytelling techniques, Virginia offers a fresh and compelling approach to interactive narratives. It is a game that warrants exploration and introspection, showcasing the artistic possibilities within the gaming medium. Max and Harlem are members of the Heka Collective who have been working together on various projects for a number of years. In fact, Max, you're the editor on this program, is that right?
Yeah, that's me.
So everything we're seeing you put together?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, everything. Yeah, even you.
Well, Max, thank you for coming on the show, and Harlem, it's great to have you back again to discuss Virginia. Wherever you'd like to begin, gentlemen, take it away.
Okay, so my first question to you, Harlem, is this is obviously an extremely easy platinum. Like, you have the platinum, but I just watched the game. Like, I went on YouTube and did a long play, but it's free on PS4 or it's free on Steam, or it's like not that much money or something, right?
Yeah, it's very cheap, and I'm just had it on Steam as well. I think it was free on Steam and on PS4 maybe, because I don't remember paying for this. But I'm pretty sure I ended up having it twice. I don't know exactly why. I just remember the game is always cheap or free. So, it helps. Helps a little bit. The case of Virginia, I guess.
But so it's basically just like a padding platinum. Like, it's not a difficult platinum at all to get. You can miss it. Like, you might have to do multiple playthroughs or whatever if you want the platinum.
You are forced to do true playthroughs, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like there's a little bit of effort. It's not entirely free, but it's one of those games where it's a platinum you could easily put in your trophy case, and it's just an experience that's kind of like worth the time. It's only about maybe an hour and a half of gameplay, and it's more of a story. Like, it's more of a interactive movie than it really is a game. Because I would say the gameplay is just point and click, basically. Yeah.
It's very basic, You just walk around, you grab some collectible here and there, and that's pretty much it. There's not anything else besides that.
But you were drawn to it, and you brought it to do an episode on because of the story, right? Like essentially it is kind of like a it's billed as like this Twin Peaks, X-Files style FBI kind of procedural crime thing. And it is that. It's about a missing persons case. But it's what makes it interesting, at least to me, and I'll let you kind of say your side of it. But it basically what makes it interesting is it uses jump cuts, and they work really well. So you'll be kind of playing one section, and you'll do something, and then all of a sudden it'll just jump entirely to another scene, another time, a whole different context. And that's kind of what sets it apart from other things that are in this like walking simulator, interactive experience genre. Because it's not like Gone Home, where it's like an environment exploration game with one environment. What's really neat about it, or at least like the coolest thing, in my opinion, is the jump cuts and the editing. But yeah, I mean, tell me what drew you to it.
I'm not the type of person that watches many movies or TV series, I'm more of a gaming person. And the movies I usually watch are usually like classic recommendations that people give me, and I have the time to watch them. Usually old movies, because I feel like they are better written and they have a better pacing, because I feel like these days movies are like a snooze fest. I get bored easy out of the new movies and stuff. All these Marvel blockbusters, I usually don't like them. I just get bored and then I leave. And that was the case for Gone Home. I think I finished Gone Home, but I feel kind of like this isn't really worth my time. And I was playing the whole time, was expecting it for something cool to happen, and it never did. But for Virginia, I kept getting drawn in because of how polished the experience was. You can see that there's a lot of effort in the way they edited the scenes together, as you had mentioned before.
Yeah, and I mean, it's unusual for a game, because you think, at least, I'm a little older, I'm used to games loading in, but some of these cuts, it's so seamless, and you're right in and out of gameplay, and it's, for what it is, I think if you're into that sort of thing at all, like you're saying, if you don't watch a lot of movies, but you don't mind doing, these kind of interactive experience games every so often to chill out, this is a really good one. And it does like leverage, it justifies being a video game really well. And it plays with a lot of different things. Like you're saying, like one of the coolest things about it is it's all silent, but video games have a long history of silent protagonists. They're just not having voice acting. And when they designed this, they focused on the editing really working, and they focused on the cell shading and the expressions and the animations and stuff, but they didn't do voice acting.
Some of the scenarios in this game are so pretty, I feel like, even if it's like low quality, it's like stunning to me. The art direction of this game is amazing. Like those guys did a really good job at it.
It has a good payoff too. Like I think what it presents is it's interesting, and then it doesn't just end on like a fart. Like the place it ends is weird. You do kind of get a concrete conclusion too, but it leaves a lot up to interpretation. And so it is like it does fall on the more like David Lynch Twin Peaks side of things, where it's about how weird it is. Like it's about the medium and having a conversation with the audience and that kind of thing. But for something that's only an hour, it's super interesting, and it's like a fun little project if you're into game design to look at, or just storytelling or whatever, because it's a really good use of the medium. Yeah, so what do you have to say about like if you're a trophy hunter, are there other experiences like this? Is there anything comparable, or is this really kind of like a unique gem?
I think it was Lingering Shadows. It was a PS3 game that I also 100%ed, and that game is so weird, man. I think Lingering Shadows you can complete in like 20 minutes or something. Like it's a similar crazy experience that you're not really sure what you just experienced, but it's so interesting. You can't like take your eyes out of it. It really entertains you. Even though Lingering Shadows is like, people really get worked out over how Lingering Shadows released, I guess, because it was it was a game from 2008, and in 2008, you know how video games were. They were like in this weird period where like some video games were trying to be more like art, some were trying to be like movies, and some were just gray experiences, you know? Like everything on the PS3 was gray, you know, on the palette. It was kind of yellowish gray. And there was a lot of debate back then over what video games were.
Well, let's wrap it up, man. Do you have like, if you had any reason at all to recommend Virginia to somebody that hasn't played it, what's your hook?
I don't know, if you're getting smoked in Call of Duty, getting smoked in fucking Fortnite, at Apex Legends, and you just want to play a game and press forward and just be entertained by something that isn't toxic, I guess go for it. Virginia is very easy to pick up and play. It's even available for free, so why not?
Yeah.
At the worst, you lost 50 cents and 10 minutes of your time. At the best, you want an experience you won't forget anytime soon.
And I would say too, if you've got somebody that doesn't play games, and you've got like your PS4 sitting around, just throw it on there, and because anybody can pick this up and play it, and you can just sit on the couch next to them and enjoy it, and make it, make it a thing.
Max and Harlem, thank you so much for coming on the show. That's it for this episode of Platinum Soul on Display. If you'd like to keep up with Harlem and Max, the best place to find them is on Twitter. You can find me over on TikTok at Good Maybe Great. As always, you can find all of the projects from the Heka Collective at heka.uwu.ai. Take care, and we'll see you around the net.